that brings us to our main event. So every year, we, as a tradition of Byram Hills, celebrate teacher recognition. And when you think about, what this really means, picking a teacher from each building to give them special recognition, it's quite an extraordinary accomplishment, because we have such a talented faculty overall that we know is dedicated to the kids of this community. And I'm sure the task at hand of choosing one person is not an easy one, but we really appreciate the excellence that Jen will be soon speaking about with all of our Teacher Recognition Award winners tonight. And we celebrate their success. It fills our heart with pride and is really the embodiment of what we all strive for at Byram Hills. And it's, I think, especially nice that as part of this process, when we all think about the back to school period which now seems like it's very far off, but in late August, as we're all preparing for the next school year, the teachers that win this award actually come back and they publicly address all of the teachers in all of our buildings, as well as our staff, and welcome them back for the school year. And I've sat through that historically, and really been inspired by some of the stories around individuals that follow their passion to do what is one of the most noble professions out there. So we really appreciate hard work and success and excellence. And I now turn it over to Jen, who is going to walk through our winners.
Great. Byram Hill has been doing this Teacher Recognition Award since 1981, which is actually even before Jen Lamia and Ira Schulman came to Byram Hills. Byram Hills has maintained the tradition of these awards, and we've had 139 teachers who have been recipients and recognized. It really goes to a particular contribution or a particular service that these teachers are doing for the Byram Hills students that is just beyond the scope of their work and the bounds of teacher performance. So tonight, it is a pleasure to announce the 4 recipients from Coman Hill, Lily Lee; from Wampus, Katie Constantine; Crittenden, Melinda Fuller; and Byram Hills High School, Peter Lichten. And finally, Peter Lichten at the high school. Chris Walsh writes, the teacher recognition recipient for Byram Hills High School is Peter Lichten. At the beginning of this year, it would be difficult to predict the impact that Peter's work would have on our school. Although this award reflects his overall excellence through his 16 years at Byram Hills, he has gone above and beyond this year to support our students and teachers during e-learning. Peter began his career at Byram Hills High School as a biology teacher, but spent the majority of his time teaching chemistry, STS, and robotics. He personifies the qualities of a lifelong learner. In every new course he was asked to teach, he immersed himself in professional development, spending hours collaborating with colleagues to gain a full understanding of the course. He has an amazing work ethic, continually seeks to grow. A few years ago, he dedicated himself to learning and mastering robotics. The course grew out of a unit he did with students in his STS class. In that unit, Peter saw how it sparked an interest in students and the ability to reach students through different pathways. To prepare for the class, he would come into the building over the course of the summer and spend hours building, coding, and testing robots so he could support his students when they arrived in the fall. He took online courses and built his own robot from scratch. He encouraged authentic assessments in the course by registering his students for robotics competitions throughout the region. You could find his students staying after school to work on their robots, not because they had to, but they were engaged. They would even come into school on the weekends to work on them. Anyone who gets kids to come to school on the weekend voluntarily on a Saturday is definitely doing something right. Peter is a teacher who knows when to support students and when to let them figure things out on their own. He doesn't have to be right when it comes to teaching. He's not afraid to learn from his students, and he helps them understand the hard work that's needed to master concepts through trial and error. In a world that too often asks for perfection, Peter's classroom is a refreshing mix of failures, trials, errors, and successes. He helps the students see failures for what they are, opportunities. When we shifted to remote learning, Peter was a tremendous source of support for students, faculty, and staff. He made sure students were supported with the correct equipment and he offered countless professional development sessions to faculty members. Understanding that our teachers needed a way to connect with each other, he set up a virtual teachers lounge where colleagues could touch base. He could easily sense the needs of these colleagues and develop strategies for making them comfortable teaching remotely. He constantly communicated ways to make teachers' lives easier and improve student learning, whether it was just a simple time saver or an entirely new approach to technology. Chris concludes with the fact that Peter is a true professional, a lifelong learner, exemplifying the best ideals of the district. Chris, thank you for these words. Peter definitely is inspiration to us all. Peter could do anything and could be successful at it. He chose to do it with children, which elevates him in my mind beyond the successes of any CEO. He is a master teacher. Thank you. Congratulations to Peter. Clapping for Peter, in case you're listening in.